ever wondered why your drone footage looks like a vacation vlog while everyone else's looks like a Netflix movie? Well, I've been there too. So let me help you guys so that even your drone footage would be just as good, if not better. And trust me, by the end of this video, you guys will be dying to hit the subscribe button. So without wasting any more time, let's roll the intro. Let's kick things off with the frame rate. If you're still stuck at shooting at 30 FPS or the 60 FPS, I'm sorry, but there is a better frame rate to shoot at, and to get that cinematic motion blur, you actually do need to shoot at 24 frames per second. For that reason, you actually do need an ND filter. Switch to 24 frames per second, obviously 4K resolution, and then start shooting. The reason I'm saying that you actually need to shoot in 24 frames per second and not 30, and especially not 60, unless you need slow motion, or if you're actually chasing a car or at least someone, you do not need to shoot in 60 frames per second. But even 30 frames per second is not the right number, because 30 frames per second is mostly used for interviews or a vlog style video, and it does not provide you with enough motion blur to make your footage, your drone footage, look cinematic. Here's a comparison between the two. Now that you have dialed in your frame rate, it's time to dial in the shutter speed. Your shutter speed cannot be more than double of your frame rate. So if your frame rate is 24 frames per second, your shutter speed cannot be more than 50 frames per second, or 48 frames per second to be exact. If it's any higher than 50 frames per second, your footage will actually start to look jittery, especially like a GoPro footage. But if you need that motion blur, that cinematic motion blur in your footage, in your drone footage, you set it at 48 or 50 frames per second. And to do that, in your remote, you actually need to go into the Pro mode and then go down to shutter speed. If it's on auto, turn it off and set it to 50 frames per second and start shooting. This is while filming this video. This is the third battery that I'm changing on this drone, and I've only been here making this video for, I don't know, at least an hour. But like I said in my previous video, the battery life in this drone kind of sucks. And I'll link to the entire real world experience video right over here, so you guys can go ahead and check that video out. But yeah, the battery life, it's not that great, and it's not even that cold. So I don't know, at best it gives me like 20-25 minutes of flight time. So when the DJI Mini 5 Pro, which is about to release this year, releases, I hope they actually extend the battery life to at least 40 or to 45 minutes. That would be really nice. Till now, if you guys are enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you guys would hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. It really does make a difference. So let's move on to point number 3, and let's talk about ISO. When setting the ISO of your drone, especially when you're flying in low light situations, don't go over ISO 200, or if possible, stick to ISO 100 actually, because your drone sensor isn't really as big as your camera sensor. The moment you go over 200 or 300 ISO, you will introduce noise in your video, and unless you're going for a really vintage noisy footage, it will not look good. Stick to around 100 to 200 ISO and you should be fine. And if you don't know what ISO is, it's basically how sensitive your camera sensor becomes to light. The more higher the ISO is, the more noise you will have in your footage. Talk about the final setting in your drone that you need to master in order to actually take better cinematic footage, and that is white balance. Do not keep the white balance of your drone when flying in auto. Trust me, auto white balance is not your friend. It's actually kind of your traitor because it will let you down when you actually need it the most. And especially when you're shooting landscape or epic cinematic footage in a beautiful place like this, it will keep on changing according to what the situation is outside. If it's cloudy, it will actually get warm. And if it's sunny, it will probably cool the temperature down on the Kelvin scale. So keep it manual, adjust it yourself, and then fly your drone. If you don't know how to set your white balance, it's actually pretty easy. I'll have a cheat sheet for you guys to actually read and actually keep it in mind, and probably save this video as well somehow so that you actually know what you're doing when you're flying a drone like the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Well, that's it for me today, guys. I really hope you guys learned something from this video, and if you have, do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. It really does make a huge difference, and like always, I really do appreciate you guys, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Take care. Enjoy your summer.